late morning, actually. As I sit here in the OR getting the bike ready for Ocean City Bike Week, uh, leaving tomorrow morning, I have this overwhelming uh, remembrance. September 11th, 2001. I remember where I was, where tens of thousands of Americans lost their lives due to a horrific terrorist attack. And all of the firemen, policemen, and all the first responders rushed in at the Twin Towers, at the Pentagon to save lives. And let's not forget the heroes of Flight 93 that brought the plane down before it could do more damage. Today is a somber day. Please take a moment. Think about everybody who gave their lives, who lost their lives senselessly on this day in infamy. This day will live on in infamy, September 11, 2001. Whether you were alive during that time or not, it doesn't matter. You have to think of the Americans that lost their lives in New York City, and at the Pentagon and on Flight 93. My heart goes out to all the families and survivors. I just can't say enough. It's overwhelming to be putting up with this every year. But I remember on September 11th, midday, for about 2 months, we as a country were not separated by left wing, right wing, by race, creed, religion, color, nothing. We stood together as Americans and said, no more. We will not put up with this, and we will come after you. And we did. And we got Osama bin Laden, who was the mastermind behind this. I'd like to see America get back to that again. Honestly, who cares if you're left or right wing? Who cares who you call God? That's your business. What matters is we are Americans first. That's right. We are Americans first. And we stand together, are stronger than if we're individuals. And I'd really like to see that stop. I'd really like to see everybody take a moment, reflect on 9/11, think of those who were very selfless. I really don't know. Yes. Thanks, Buck, says preach on. I'm not preaching, I'm speaking from the heart. Uh, I've been overseas many, many times due to this horrific attack, unprovoked attack on civilians, on military headquarters. So this hits hard to me. I remember where I was. I remember seeing the fighter jets flying so low over the Hudson River where my truck tipped up on two wheels and went right back down because they were full tilt boogie trying to secure peace of the airways and prevent more horrific attacks. It's sombering. It really is. I'm a little off today because of that. I hope everybody else is doing a better job dealing with this than I am. It's a tough day. It's a tough day to remember. We all know who survived and lived through that day of what people in America felt and in Hawaii when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. At least that was a military target with military gains. You can understand that. But pushed us into a Pacific War. This was senseless. too many lives were lost. I'd like to see everybody just take a moment, think of everybody who was there. I think of my nephew at the time, who was maybe 3 or 4 years old, walking in to Tower 1 with his mom and his baby sister in his mom's arms when Tower 2 got struck. And he had nightmares and couldn't sleep for months over the bad people were coming. And then when the skies opened up, again, the air traffic, every time he saw a plane, he'd quiver in fear. Good news is my nephew's doing well today. His sister was way too young to remember this, thank God. You know, my brother-in-law worked for 9X at the time and watched people jump out the windows, and they figure at that time, it's my choice to die, not yours. You know? So just remember and think about what you were doing on this horrific day. Think about how the country was shortly afterwards, where we were all Americans and weren't divided by our petty differences. You know, that's got to end. We got to stand together as Americans. This petty BS that we live with, left wing, right wing, get back to being Americans and putting America first. I love this country. I know everybody here does. But, you know, you got to do it. Here, Buck Brown says it's best. It's a shame that society has drifted away from the unity we had as a result of 9/11. That's right. That is 100% correct. We had one heck of a unity going on. We were Americans. And that's what mattered to everybody, was putting America first. You know? Big Mike says left wing, right wing, still part of the same eagle. That's right. They're attached to the same bird. We just need, as Americans, need to guide that bird to do what's right. Now, what I feel is right, what you feel is right, might be different. But that's okay, because in this great country of ours, we can agree that we disagree. Yeah, Hardwire says it too. This country has forgotten most of them. That is 100% accurate. I remember when the news channels would broadcast the reading of the names of those who lost their lives every year on the anniversary, and that stopped. Why? Because it's not relevant? Why? Because it's not good for ratings? I challenge all the news channels out there to get back to doing that. Let's not forget. We swore as Americans we will never forget the horrific events of 9/11. I haven't forgotten. I know you guys haven't forgotten. But most of America and the world has forgotten. And it was not just an attack on America, it was an attack on the world and the financial structure of this world. That's why the World Trade Center was targeted, was to bring the world down to its knees financially, and they failed. They put a hiccup in it, but they failed. You know, Hardwire says that I keep saying, chatting and finding other great people on YouTube has helped me remind me the good that still exists. Right on, Hardwire. Right on, brother. SNS, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, this was like a quick impromptu live, trying to deal with the memories of everything that's going on, and everybody's flooding Facebook and Instagram of photos past. And it's like you're only kind on Christmas because it's Christmas. You're only remembering 9/11 on the anniversary. Do our heroes a service. Remember them year round. Honor them year round. And definitely take a moment on the anniversary of this to remember them. Yeah, right on, Rolling Throttle. I think a burnout video needs to happen today. Well, no burnout video for me. I'm getting the bike ready for a road trip tomorrow, celebrate my freedom as an American, and going to Ocean City Bike Week. But it still doesn't remove the fact of what today is. Remember, everyone who paid the ultimate sacrifice on this day. God, 23 years ago. College kids who graduated last year weren't even born. You know? And I think that's why things are getting forgotten. Because they only read about it in the history books. The survivors, and that's all of us. We were all affected. May not be affected by the planes and the crumbling of buildings and towers. But one way or another, every American throughout this country was affected by that day. And we need to remember, and we need to push that remembrance on to everybody. Because remember, if history is not taught, it's forgotten, and it's doomed to repeat itself. Oh, here you go. Buck Brown says, a lyric from Charlie Daniels' song, in America, this lady may have stumbled, but she ain't never fall. That is so true. My wife says, if it's even mentioned in history, who knows? I mean, do they even still teach American history in school? It's been so long since I did that. Someone's trying to call. Sorry, guys. But yeah. Remember today. Remember it every day. Be proud you're an American. Be proud of the rights that you have. Oh, my wife says it best. Schools are failing our youth today. Yes, they are. Be proud of being American. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of the fact that we live in such a great country. Might not be the greatest country in the world anymore, but it's still a great country. All right, everybody. I'll see you tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until the next time, you live the best life you can. Ride often and always ride hard.